Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to episode 35 of the Alchemy Devlog. This is Isaac from the dev team here with the latest news for you. In this episode, we've got token configuration options. I can finally check that off of our V1 list. We've got two-state pip trackers. I'll show you what that means and how those work a bit later in the episode. We've also got a few other odds and ends in our universes, like the ability to duplicate scenes and hide actions from players. I'll show you how both of those things work a bit later as well. As always, I'll take some time to check in on our roadmap, what systems are outstanding for V1, and answer questions that have come in since last time. With that out of the way, let's dive in. First up, let's jump into a Dragonbane game. Dragonbane is all we're talking about here at Alchemy HQ lately. These past couple of weeks have been very Dragonbane-y for us. We're even playing a Dragonbane staff game, which is a whole lot of fun. So first up, we have wrapped up our version 1 token configuration options. So let me show you what that means and how those work. I'm going to switch over to a tactical map here, this battle mat scene from the quick start, and take a look at a token for Archmaster Aeodon. Very cool dude here. As the GM, I'm going to go ahead and view this character sheet and edit some things about them. Down here at the bottom of the character tab, we have our tactical section. Every character in Alchemy now has this new tactical section with options for configuring their token size, setting up a separate image for the token, distinct from their character image, the ability to disable the token ring and that circle crop that happens to the token. Previously, a lot of you crafty folks had come up with a way to make this work by changing the size of your token to like 0.99 by 1.0, which would cause it to be slightly oblong and stop cropping itself. Very clever and fun. You can do that with a switch now. You don't have to have weird sizes. And then last up, we've got the ability to select a color for the token's ring if it has one. So if you want to change your token size, you can simply click into this token size dropdown and pick a size. We'll make this guy a 3x3 huge token for the purposes of demonstration here. So now we've got a 3x3 token. If we jump back in, we can also put in a custom size for that. So just by selecting custom in here, I can type in whatever size I want. So if I wanted it to be 3x2, we'll put that in and save. And there, now we have a 3x2 token that we can move around for this character. You can also go in and we'll reset that to a 1x1 sensible size. And let's go ahead and disable the token ring on a 1x1, and that will make it a square 1x1 token that we can move around here. No more funny business with the token size to make that happen. And if we want to have this be a 1x1 token with a ring and then select a different color for the token ring, we can do that here. So you can check out colors from the theme. This Dragonbane theme happens to have a jade and ruby color available, so we could pick Dragonbane ruby here, for example, or Dragonbane jade. Or you can select from default colors from our alchemy theme, colors that you see on trackers today for the primary and secondary trackers. Colors like blue, purple, yellow, red, yellow. Already said yellow. There it is. We'll turn that one on and have a nice yellow ring around our token here. If none of those colors suit what you're going for with the character, you can choose custom and type in whatever hex code you want. So you could have a nice hot pink. Last but not least, you can select a separate token image now, and by default this pulls assets from the connected universes. Some of these may be characters. Yeah, these are actually close enough to cool tokens we could use. So we'll swap this one out to this Leonara or Annabella art and save that. So now the token for Archmaster Aeodon shows the art that we selected, but the character still shows that cool art that we had for him from the start. So viewing the character sheet, you see that nice cool art of the Archmaster here. but on the tactical map, you can have something that is perhaps more suitable for the token, giving you the ability to mix things up in tactical mode. Pretty exciting, if I do say so myself. All right, well, next up, we've got some cool new trackers available to both GMs and players. I'm going to switch back to sort of the landing page for this game. This very cool dragon, menacing dragon, flapping its jaws up there on that skull thing. Very cool. Over here in the tools section, I'm going to go ahead and add a tracker as a GM. And this new tracker is called Pip 2State. It's the same as our Pip tracker, but it has multiple states that you can move through. So we'll make this one have a maximum of 3 and a current value of 1. And when you click through on this, you now have a partially filled state, and then you have a completely filled state for each pip of your tracker. So you can track multiple values along there if you happen to have the need for that in your system. I know we're going to be rolling out some additional changes to make this even more useful, specifically for different systems that we have on our V1 roadmap in the near future. But for now, if you need more than 6 values in a pip, for example, you could do that here. Or if you just need a little bit more meaning in between states for your pips, that's a cool new option for you. And that's available on both Game Master tools and on player tools. Player trackers, I should say. All right, next up, we have a nice, tiny little feature in Universe that I think is going to make a lot of you happy, a lot of you world builders out there very happy. When you're creating actions in Universe, you can now mark them as hidden from players. Let's go ahead and create we'll just go with a custom system hidden actions universe here. And when I go in and create an action in this universe, we'll call this one player action, visible. I'm not going to add any action stuff to this because it's not terribly important for this demonstration. But over on the options tab of this action, we have a new setting up here, hidden from players. Turning that on will make this action only visible to GMs when you're using this content in a game. So we'll leave that unchecked for this one since it's our theoretical player action. And then we'll create a second action in here that is a GM action, hidden. And we'll go ahead and turn on that switch for this. So now we have those two actions in our universe, in our untitled module in the hidden actions universe. I'm going to go ahead and go back and create a game. We'll go with custom. And then somewhere down in here, I should have my hidden actions. There it is. Okay. We'll create that game. Now, if I go ahead and add a test account to this game for demo here in a moment, if I look in my tools tab as the GM and I go to add an action, it's going to load in both the player action that's visible and the GM action that's hidden. If I jump over to my test account that I had invited to that game, let's see if I can find that one. Join in and create a character for this game and go in to add an action. I see only the visible action. So very cool feature for all of you world builders out there that make extensive use of universes for your actions. Perhaps not so exciting for the rest of you, but we are applying this pretty heavily across our content catalog to make sure that role tables and things that are kind of for GM's eyes only don't clutter up this add action form for players. Speaking of cool features for world builders, there's a couple things that are new in this release for you all. So we'll go back into my themed universe here, and I'm going to go ahead and create a scene. We'll call it My Cool Scene. Oh, this is a themed universe. This is a different universe than I was thinking, but that's fine. if you find yourself setting up similar scenes in your universe, as we often do, you can now quickly duplicate those scenes just by right-clicking on it. Let's give this something a little bit more exciting. How about some of the default content that I've been meaning to remove for a very long time and haven't? Shout out to all the folks who remind me that this shows up for you too sometimes. So now if we want to duplicate this, simply right-click on the scene and click duplicate, and you'll get a copy of that scene. And were I to have included NPCs and tactical maps and everything else, those come along with it. So nice way to get an extra copy of a scene to start creating a variant in your universe. And shout out to our content ingestion folks who put this through its paces every day. All right, that's about it for the exciting new features this week. We have a bunch more smaller changes and adjustments, so I encourage you to take a look at the release notes if you haven't already to explore that full list of exciting smaller stuff. Let's head over to the roadmap and talk about what's coming up next. So much like last time, our feature list is nearly complete. There's a few things left. The big one is streamer mode. We need to get cracking on that here pretty soon. And we also have the tactical token customization that we shipped this week. So that's all done. As far as tokens go, we're done for V1. We, of course, have a ton of cool new ideas that we're going to roll out ASAP. But for that V1 milestone, this is what we wanted. And then we may have some things for our content roadmap that require us to make some changes there. But streamer mode is about it as far as those listed features go. We also have a few new things coming for Dragonbane. So we're missing things like skill rolls, not skills, attribute rolls. So the ability to make an attribute test and have it show you success or failure. That's coming out this weekend or by Monday. And we've got push and reroll mechanics for Dragonbane coming soon, as well as some initiative improvements for Dragonbane specifically. Here in the next couple of days, we're working on that stuff right now to get Dragonbane kind of wrapped up because we have lots of Dragonbane fun on the horizon. We've got Vinny and Dan from the Alchemy team giving Learn to Play tutorials on our Discord next week. So if you're around and on our Discord, have a look at those events in the Discord event calendar and sign up to learn how to play Dragonbane on Alchemy with some experts on those games. And we also have an event with Start Playing coming up here in a couple of weeks for Dragonbane specifically. Other than that, we are jamming on V1 game systems to try to wrap these up for you all. If you haven't seen it, our content tab here has a nice graphic courtesy of Chris that shows you everything that we've done so far that's live. We just brought the Darkest House live in the last week. So that's available on our marketplace now from Monty Cook Games. Very cool adventure, very creepy, and lots of cool stuff there. We are currently in beta on a bunch of these systems, and we're working through them. We've got Eat the Right coming out, I think, probably next. We also have, not on the V1 list, but the Lore of Aethera Dark Symmetry Alchemy module is going to be coming out very soon. We also have, in addition to some of these systems, some more features that we're working on are things for actions. We've got a few upgrades that we need for a few of these systems. Things like being able to prompt for inputs to actions, define targets and grouping, which we're currently using for Dragonbane and Fallout, but we haven't released the UI for you to be able to configure those types of actions yourself just yet, but we're working on that stuff. So yeah, that is the roadmap and upcoming content releases. And we have a little bit of a special surprise coming out in the next week as well, which is support for the Tales of the Valiant system from Kobold Press. Their project Black Flag is now Tales of the Valiant, and that's coming out soon. So get excited for that one. All right, let's head over for some Q&A. episode 35. Live games filters. Swede Racer. Hello again, Swede Racer. Today, I was on the Alchemy homepage and noticed that there were several live games that I could join as a spectator. I joined 5 or 6 of them and found that I couldn't hear or see the players. When I finally did find one that I could hear, it was a non-English speaking group. So I wonder if there could be a filter on live games that would allow us to only show games that are using Alchemy's built-in audio/video chat and only in our language. I assume a language field would need to be added to games to allow for this. Side note, even though I couldn't hear or understand the games that I joined, the scene artwork and background music made them all so atmospheric and intriguing. It made me really wish I could hear the games, and I'm so excited to start running games of my own on Alchemy. You've created an amazing platform, and I can't wait to see where you go from here. Thank you for the kind words. Really appreciate that. We were actually just talking about this the other day, and we are excited to give that homepage a little bit of a revamp or a little bit of love before we stamp the version 1 release for Alchemy. So I think that something like this will fit in nicely as a little adjustment to the functionality, making it a little bit more usable, and it'll fit in really nicely with the rest of the stuff that we have planned for that page. So thank you for the feedback, and we'll definitely take that into consideration. All right, Patters. Roles outside of games. Sometimes I play games with friends and the GM isn't running the game via Alchemy. Oh, that's sad. But I want to make use of Alchemy's features like character builder and universe search, etc. Right now, I can access the character sheet from my library and make changes to the character state in edit mode, but I'm unable to perform actions or play as the character. Would it be possible to add a mode where you can play as a character in your library without it being attached to an Alchemy game so that I can play alongside other players not using Alchemy? That is a very interesting suggestion and one that I think would be really cool. I think we have a few sort of technical hurdles to jump through for that. First being most of our systems don't lend themselves to play outside of a game. For example, you have all the panels for actions and spells and things of that nature that give you access to being able to roll the dice and do all of that. But I think it's definitely an interesting angle to bring those capabilities outside of the game or give you a way to test some of that stuff from your library even. And I think it would be cool for in-person play, being able to use your character sheet and just roll those things. So definitely something that we'll keep in mind and consider as we crest the V1 milestone and start building out new features. So thank you for the question and the feedback on that one. All right, that's it for Q&A for this week. And that is it for this episode of the Devlog. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, head on down below, hit that like button, and subscribe for future updates. We've got more great content coming out on the channel besides devlogs, so keep your eyes peeled and your subscriptions tuned for that good stuff. If you have a question you'd like to send in of your own, you can find a link down below where you can get to that Google form and send that question my way. And if you're looking for something new to play and you don't want to spend a bunch of time learning it, check out those Dragonbane Learn to Plays that we're going to have on our Discord next week. So if you're not on our Discord, you can find a link for that down below as well. Hop on in there and get taught how to play Dragonbane by some real pros. Dan and Vinny are awesome. So see you in there. That's all for this week. Thanks for watching. Let's go play some games.